a maggot wiggling into a nostril. Okay.
Cow feces all over the bucket, and she was like, that's not the raw milk that I drink. And it's like, yes girl, it is.
I know the king is fine, but like he's just like rotting, like he's a corpse, like he's not. One of our kids is called Junebug. So I think we would all read a lot more if we didn't have jobs and we weren't studying and we didn't have sport and stuff. I wanted to put a towel over it and let it rise.
If I hear one more thing about raw milk,
I think my favourite books are the books where like there's no happiness in it.
hello everyone and welcome to my channel.
What is happening with the hair? I don't know why my hair is looking like that. That is not what my hair looks like. I don't know why it's plastered to my head like that and it's really bothering me, so I just need to address it.
Today I thought I would do a what I realistically read in a week. As a relatively busy person, for reference, I am in my undergraduate psychology degree. I'm currently on semester break, but I have 2 jobs. One of those jobs I'm also doing placement at, so it's kind of confusing because some days I'm strictly a student and I'm only there to learn. Other days I'm strictly a worker, I'm not there for placement, and then other days I am doing placement but I'm also getting paid for it at the same time. I also play netball on the weekends and I recently got a gym membership, so I'm trying to go to the gym. Okay, today's Monday night. Have I read anything today? No, I have not. Monday is kind of like my admin day because it's my mini shift day. This morning I went to the doctor's, I also sorted out my car insurance, I did a little bit of shopping because it's hard when you work the hours where you can't buy clothes in the store because you're working, and it was pajamas because I love buying pajamas. After that I went to work, so I did my mini shift, which is just 2 to 5:30, and it's alright. It's a terrible shift, but I'm trying to change my mindset over it and be like, instead of what the hell is a 3.5 hour shift, just be like, you know what, it's just a little mini shift to get me started, ease me into the week, even though I do work all day Sundays, but that's regardless. It's Monday night. Yes, I just got home from work. Well, not even at home, I'm at my family's house, so I'm gonna eat dinner here and then I'm gonna go to my actual home, my own house. But I'm reading Crown Me Dead. I started this last night and I do have some thoughts about it, which I'll tell you about in a little bit, but I don't know if you can hear that. That's my boyfriend. I'm gonna like read some of this and then I will give you some updates later and kind of like tell you what this book's about. But I am really thoroughly enjoying it. So I'm currently on, it's taking its time. I am currently on page 47, chapter 7, and we'll see how many pages I read tonight. I also started listening to Yesteryear on audio because I also don't want to be buying really any books this year, even though I've kind of failed that a little bit, but I don't want to be buying any books this year. Well, books that I haven't already read. So I'm going to try these books, and if I like them, then I can buy them. I'm really liking this so far. Stop. It is almost midnight, so I'm going to give you my updates on Crown Me Dead and Yesteryear, and then my page updates, and then I'm going to go to sleep, and then we will reconvene tomorrow morning. So I'm starting with Crown Me Dead because this is the book that I started. I also think it's important to note, like, I've been in a reading slump for like a very long time, and this book is slowly dragging me out of it because I'm finding myself, like, when I'm not reading it, like, I want to know what's happening in the book. It's also on Kindle Unlimited, which is good because it just makes it like more accessible to read if you have Kindle and you have Kindle Unlimited, because you don't actually have to like buy the book or whatever. And the audiobook doesn't come out until the end of this month, so if I did have access to the audiobook, I would be listening to it while I was doing my skincare or eating food or whatever, but instead I'm listening to Yesteryear, which I will talk about in a second. The premise of this book is there is this kingdom that is just filled with rot. This rot is a disease and it spreads to everything. It spreads to people, the land, nature. Nobody knows what causes it. No one knows how you actually get it, and no one knows what the cure for it is. But like, it's literally just killing everything and it's destroying this entire kingdom. The rot also, it doesn't discriminate. It kills rich people, it kills nobles, it kills peasants, children. So our main character is called Alara, and she and her mother, they are gravediggers, and they also like have the job of like making the dead people who have been infected with the rot presentable. Kind of in my mind, they're kind of like the morgue people, but like just in like a dark fantasy setting, because I don't know if I said this, but this book is a dark fantasy romance, which I'm gonna get to the romance in a second. Now, her brother has the rot, and Alara, she loves her brother very dearly. So the fact that he has the rot is like very distressing. It's something that she like would do kind of anything to change and help. And he has it on his hand, and they like keep cutting away at it, but it keeps coming back. Like, you can't just cut it away, but people, they will cut parts of themselves away to get rid of the rot, but like it will just come back. This guy from the palace, as she's doing her rounds with her family, well, her mum and her brother, because her dad is like very sick and he's bedridden, but as she's doing the rounds with her family, this guy from the castle, a steward, which first of all, like, what even is a steward? Like, I think I remember when I was younger, I watched Sofia the First, and I think there's a guy in there named Bailey, I'm pretty sure he was a steward. But anyways, he comes to her with this ultimatum and is like, there is a way to fix this rot, and there's a way to save your family, but like, you just have to sacrifice yourself. And yeah, and she's like, what? And the guy's like, the crown is hungry, the crown needs blood, and your blood will do. And she's like, what are you actually talking about? So he's just like yapping on and on, speaking in riddles, essentially. Okay, there is a king, and he has the crown. This crown is made from death. Death tore a string from his heart, tempered gold around it, and essentially needs blood. It grows hungry for blood about every 15 years, sometimes sooner, and then it needs to be fed. How this even came to be about, Vale explains, is that Death is a man, and a king cheated him a very long time ago. A king demanded that a crown will give prosperity for the realm, health for himself, and protection for his rule. Well, a king wears this crown, he will be healthy and he cannot die until like he just dies of old age, like until like the sand runs out or whatever he said. When the crown is hungry for blood, it feeds on the king's wife, and if there is no wife to feed on, there is sickness, there is rot, there is death. But like, the king has to love the wife to sacrifice her. It just can't be like, oh, okay, I'll marry that random girl and then she can be sacrificed. No, like, he has to love her. There has to be an ache in his heart when he sacrifices the queen. The crown like will accept nothing else, which we'll get to in a second, because the current king, he's being very difficult and he's not opening his heart to anyone, and he's very like stubborn. And okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry, my phone ran out of storage. But the crown will not stop. It will not stop until everything is rotten, everything is dead. Nothing else can stop it. Well, the king thinks that like just doing nothing will stop it, but like, that's clearly not working. So this guy, Vale, comes to her and he's like, you need to make the king fall in love with you and then make him sacrifice you, and then basically do horrible things to save everyone else. Then everyone will be saved. So like, yeah. Now, because it is a fantasy world, she is hungry, she's poor, she's desperate, she's very selfless, she cares very deeply about her family, will do anything for her family. She's like, I have to do it. In her mind, she's like, if I succeed, I save my brother, I save my dad, I save myself from just having like a slow death out here. Instead, I'll just have a quick death in the castle and save everyone. Simple. Like, she loves her family so much that like, she'll just do it for them. Well, particularly her brother. She loves her brother so much that she'll do it. When she's thinking about like the rot and saving people, she's mainly thinking about her brother. I think her dad was mentioned like once, but she's mainly thinking of her brother because she's very close with her brother. Now, the king is a very complicated character. He's decomposing, he is rotting from the inside out. Maggots, they have infested him. He's infested with maggots. He is very bad-tempered. He's also like very selfish regarding the curse, and he's like, no, like, I don't want a wife, like the curse will die like if I do it my way. But like, he also then starves himself, and then all the food he doesn't eat goes to the orphanage. He does want to break the curse, but there is deeper layers. There's a deeper reason why he, you know, doesn't want a wife and get to like just sacrifice his wife. There's reasons why he doesn't want to do that. There's a reason why he thinks that this will work. There's a reason for his stubbornness. Like, what is his reason? Who knows? And so like, I want to keep reading to find that out. Now, this book is like very descriptive. There's very like disgusting imagery. For example, just in the beginning, the legs are mottled purple and black, marbled like spoiled meat. She takes a hook and eases it into the nostril, cracking through delicate bone so the rancid fluids drain. A maggot hits the back of my throat like a flick of rice. One maggot sticking to my lower lip, another wiggling into my nostril, a maggot wiggling into a nostril. Okay, I can't do maggots. Like, a slick, pale wriggle forces its way between her teeth. One maggot, then another, fat and white, squirming from under her tongue. They drop wetly onto the back of my hand like little pearls of rot that twist and curl. It's also like there's such like a sinister, like dark and dirty place that they live in. For example, we step out into the city's alley, its foul breath huffing into our faces, rank, sweet, a stew of wet stone and boiled bones. somewhere a woman sings to a child who doesn't answer. I'm just imagining this place that's just like filthy and everything's dark and everything stinks. And I couldn't live in this place. Like, I can't do anything that stinks. Now, I will admit, like, at the beginning of this book, the main character, Alara, she was cringing me out. So, just for a little example, she was like, I raised my middle finger to his pretty face and hopped downstairs. Your crown can choke on this. So, at first I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I will admit, like, she is growing on me, and like I'm so intrigued with the story that I'm like, okay. And I also like that she isn't a doormat, so I do like that, because I feel like sometimes in fantasy books, like, the main character can be a doormat. I do feel like at the beginning I was like, I feel like she's purposely written to be witty, and then actually later on in the book there's like a part that explicitly mentions her wit. Now, it is a fantasy romance, and I'm really hoping that the romance is, yes, not between her and the king, but between her and Vale. And like, I feel like it's gonna be between them. But also there's like a random perspective, and it was like sorry, but there is a random perspective, and my theory at first is either the king, the current king, or it's Vale. But I'm like, is Vale a prince? But like, maybe he's not a prince. At first I thought, like, I think Vale's a prince, but like, I thought the king was old. The king is 29, and like, Vale is older than the king. So I'm like, what is their relationship? Either brothers or like friends, or I don't know. I'm just confused by their entire dynamic. But I think that she and Vale will be together. Okay, that's what I think. I feel like Vale is kind of romantic because he's like, I have longed for a wife longer than I have had a name for longing. Like, that's kind of like a very romantic thing to say. That's why I think that they're going to be together. And also, I just feel like they have chemistry, and I just want that to happen. Like I said, I think that I can see her and the king having a friendship, and that friendship and nothing more. One thing I love in books is like when there's healing, and she's being like the caretaker for the king, because obviously she can't just be like a random girl, be like, fall in love with me, so she has to look after him and care for him, and then he will hopefully fall in love with her from that, and she's like healing him. And I find it so satisfying in books when like there's like a healer. I always think about you, Manacled. I always think about you. I am very curious about the real reason for just everything, and I'm very interested in knowing everything more. I started the book having only read 47 pages, and I'm gonna take a break now, I think. I don't think I'm gonna read any more for tonight, but I made up to page 83. So I read 36 pages, which I feel like isn't a lot, but I'm also not a very fast reader. I'm quite a slow reader, actually. But I still read 36 pages. Now for Yesteryear, which I am listening to. I listened to exactly an hour of that, so I feel like that's pretty good. I listened to an audiobook for an hour yesteryear, so I'm listening to that on Spotify because I wanted to get a hold from my library, but like the hold doesn't let up until like August, and like that's just a little bit too far away. So Yesteryear is like very popular at the moment, and essentially it's this influencer trad wife who wakes up into the 1800s, and she actually needs to be a traditional wife and not this like, well, because she's portraying herself online as this traditional wife, but she has a job, like she has a business and like selling aprons and stuff, and then she's also an influencer, she's making money that way, and then she also has so much help, like she has so many people to help cook and clean and like raise her children. So she's really not being like a traditional wife like at all, but she's portraying herself as a traditional wife. And then yes, she wakes up 1800s and she has to be a traditional wife. Okay, and that's the part of the story that I'm actually up to at the moment. The main character, she is she's very annoying. Like, she thinks very highly of herself. Like, she talks about how she's the mother every woman wants to be, and she's the wife that every man wants to come home to. And she always talks about how disciplined she is. And I'm like, oh god, like, okay, we get it. Like, she's obsessed with talking about how perfect she is and just how good she is. And her children, one of her kids is called Junebug. She has lots of children, of course. Now, she's very religious, and, you know, she'll be saying her prayer, and she'll be like, you know, thank you, God, for, like, the farm or whatever. And then she's like, and thank you for 5 million Instagram followers. And then she'll also, like, say something, like, really mean and be like, oh, sorry, God. This woman is also, like, very hypocritical. She does not let her children have screens because it's bad, but then she will film her children and post them online for people to see on their screens. She doesn't let her audience know that she has people who help her because she fears for their safety and that it will compromise their privacy. And she doesn't want to compromise their privacy, but like she would be happily to post her children. And it's like, you're not seeing like this. Her real life is a scandal. Like, there is something that happened with the producer, and then
I don't actually know exactly well, there's something about her husband, and she says that there's a scandal there, but then let's also talk about an assault. So I'm like, are those two things linked, or is it like separate issues? Things are kind of like going up in flames a little bit in her life, and then, but like not really. Like things are kind of going a little bit wrong. So at the start of the book, we get this like glimpse of like this glittery perfect life that she's trying to portray, where she presents herself as like this perfect mother and wife and homemaker, but she's so ridiculous problematic. And then there's like a brief mention of her talking about how her mother would talk about the past and talk about yesteryear, which is another discussion in itself. From that like brief little mention, it like is now, and it goes to part 2, and like she wakes up and she's like really cold because her mom was talking about like, you know, like think about in like the 1800s when the women would have been really cold because there's no heaters, and then now she actually wakes up and she's really cold, and then she's like, hang on, this is not my bed. This is not my comforter. There's no generator here. She's now in the 1800s, so I'm interested to continue this story tomorrow. Yet my main thing is just like, how did she get to 1800s? I know it's really basic, but my theories was that she was in a coma of some kind because she either got attacked and hit her head and was in a coma, something on those lines, or that like she actually went back in time. So I hope there's a good explanation of how, and I also hope that like we see some progression and growth of her, because I feel like at the moment she's just really insufferable, but I'm hoping that she at the end of the book is not a trad wife anymore, and she like turns and like flips and becomes like an opposite side. And then there's like weird political stuff mentioned as well at the start, so I don't know, but I'm interested in that. So yes, the final count for Monday was 36 pages read and then 1 hour listened, and I'll see you tomorrow, and then hopefully tomorrow I don't talk as much. I just got back from placement doing 8:30 to 5, and I do have a few assignments that I would like to type up and submit that I kind of have already done, but I'd like to just spend like 1 hour on that today and then read a little bit. But I was listening to Yesteryear on my lunch break. I was listening to that, so I got through a little bit of that today. Okay, so I haven't read yet because I have just been sitting at my desk trying to sort out the hours and situations between my 2 jobs and when I need to work and exactly what I need to do for my month. And I've written on my board important things and important to-do lists. So, and then my goal is to work a little bit on my assignment and then I can read. But I don't know. I've really only listened to my audiobook today, but I guess if I don't read anything else, then I guess that's realistic, because unfortunately I do have things I have to do. I submitted my assignment, which is good. But as for Yesteryear, so I have been listening to that kind of on and off today whenever I've got a chance to. So on my lunch break, I listened to some. When I was preparing my lunch for tomorrow, I was listening to it. And I've just whenever I've got a spare chance, have been listening to it. Honestly, I'm actually really enjoying the book. Obviously, like, the main character, she's annoying, but it's very entertaining, and I'm very curious as to like what's happening, because so Natalie, she's woken up now, because Natalie's the main character. I don't know if I said that, but she's woken up in this house, and it's literally her house, but like it's different. So her kids are her kids, but they're not her kids. Like, they don't have the same names, like, but they are her kids, but they're not. And then her husband is her husband, but he's not her husband, you know. And already, like, first thing off the bat, she says something to her husband, and he just slaps her because it's not what a good wife would do. So she's getting a harsh reality into like what a genuine actual trad wife is. The part I'm up to now, she's like kind of just woken up after being slapped, and she's trying to figure out like what she remembers last and everything. And I'm just like, I hope that the reason is real. Like, I hope that it's not because she's like fallen and hit her head and is in a coma or something and she's imagining this. I hope this is not a dream. Like, I genuinely hope that there is some kind of reason for this and that it is explained. And then I really hope that the main character, I really hope that she makes like some sort of transformation, because when she's being a trad wife, then she like wakes up and is like, okay, so I'm actually not a trad wife. So I've listened for exactly 37 minutes, and I don't think I'm gonna listen to any more tonight, because I do actually want to read Crown Me Dead, and I really have been looking forward to this book. And I think literally the only reason why I have been choosing Yesteryear over this is just because it's convenient, but also I am really enjoying Yesteryear. Like, I'm very intrigued, and I'm finding myself like thinking about these books, which is good because like I feel like for the past little bit like I have just shown like no interest in reading, and I don't really care, and these books are like I want to know what's going on, like I want to keep reading, and I feel like this is what I needed, because I feel like even though I make TBRs and stuff, I feel like I am just like a mood reader, and it stresses me out when there's new books that I want to read but I can't because I don't own it. But then it's like I am reading these and I don't own either of these books, and it's kind of a freeing feeling, you know, there's no pressure on me to like it because it's like, well, I don't own it, so it doesn't matter. But these are both books that I'm like, I kind of like maybe want to get a trophy of. I don't know. I'm gonna turn off my lights and like lay down and then just read this, and then like I'll check in with you when I can. What did I even get up to in this book last night? What is this? She's getting more. Oh, this is when Vale is giving her like more information. All right, well, I'm gonna turn on the dark mode. First update is I love palace settings. I love when things are set in the castle. I also love when the castles are like dark and dingy and it's just sad and bleak and there's no happiness, which sounds depressing, and like this book is depressing, but like I really like those settings. There's also like so many, well, there's another little mystery thing that has arisen with like this random room, well, not the room, the royal chamber. It's like what happened in there, so I'm very curious. Like I just want to know everything that's going on, because you know I think my issue is like I think my favorite books are the books where like there's no happiness in it. It's like really dark and it's really depressing, and it's like, oh, like Crime and Punishment and Manacled and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I do also really love her writing style and the way she describes things. But I just give you a little example of like the bleakness, but like also what I do like about how she writes things. We walk the dark corridors, the ghost of laughter suffocating in the still air as we pass cold fireplaces, though bed chairs, planters with nothing left but dirt. But see, the ghost of laughter suffocating in the still air, like things like that. Anyways, I really like this. Okay, as I'm reading this, more things are being revealed. I'm only on page 90, but surely the reason isn't just because the king cares too much. Like, obviously, you know, like, he cares, like, he feeds the poor and stuff. Surely it's not just because he just doesn't want anyone else dying at the fate of the crown. Like, surely that's not the reason why he's doing all this. He just doesn't want anyone because he's traumatized, but then everyone else is still dying anyways. But I feel like the answer is simple, but surely it's not that simple. Okay, hopefully it's not. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, so I'm very tired. I'm gonna go to sleep now. But I got to page 93. So I only read 10 pages. I read for about half an hour just then. So like, see what I mean when I say like I'm a slow reader? Like, what do you mean it took me 30 minutes to read 10 pages? I don't know. It's just like sometimes I read and then it's like I need to like savor it. Like when I was younger, like, well, I used to be able to read really fast and be able to comprehend it. But ever since I've kind of like not been reading as much, I feel like it just takes me like a really long time to read. But also like the writing, like it's really beautiful at some points. Like I want to kind of savor it, like, and I'm enjoying my time, so I don't want to like rush through it. So 10 pages. Okay, so like I said, like this is realistic. Okay, if I had more time in the day, like if I didn't have a job, didn't have like assignments to do, and like I didn't have work, I would have read more. But anyways, that's all for today. I don't even know how much I'm going to read tomorrow because I'm going to see a movie tomorrow. I'm going to see Obsession with my friends. I saw it last Friday, but I'm going to see it again because I really liked it, and I also don't want to be left out, so I just watched it again. I don't know, hopefully I can read a little bit more, but I'm not sure. Okay, I will see you for Wednesday. Okay, so I got back from my placement again, 8:30 to 5. And I don't think I actually want to go to the movies. I don't know, it's just, I underestimated like how far away I was gonna have to drive because it's peak hour, and I already have seen the movie, and then there's so many other random people coming, and it's like I just want to see my uni friends, you know, all these other random people, and then I just have so many things I need to get done today, so I'm just like, I just think I'm just not gonna make it. So tomorrow I'll be essentially working from 8:30 till 9. Okay, so after I'm very tired. I read on my lunch break, and then I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook. I have a feeling I'm going to maybe read some more and listen to some more. So I'll do like how much I read today. I'll update like sometime tomorrow. But I just know that I'm gonna listen a lot more now, and I read a bit more my lunch break, so I might read some more now. I don't know, but I'm very tired. But see, I don't read that much in the week, and unfortunately like that's just the way that it is. So I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I don't know why I look so terrible. Okay, we are ignoring that. So let me give you the final rundown on what happened for yesterday for Wednesday. So I listened to an hour and 40 minutes of the audiobook and I read 7 pages. Also, I have been listening in like 1.3, 1.4 speed as well. That's just something to take into consideration. Like, ideally, for a more accurate representation, I should be timing myself, but that is just too much work, and I feel like if I do that, I will just avoid reading. So I'm just looking at like what the Spotify hours are. Only reading 7 pages is like not very good, and then also like even for an hour and 40 minutes, but like unfortunately I need to do what I have to do. I need to work. I need to do my assignments. I get tired and then I can't read. I would love, actually I wouldn't, because I'd be so bored, but sometimes I do just like want a break. So I do have pneumonia. But like at the end of the day, that's just like not it. Although it does really annoy me. Like, I can't watch booktubers anymore. I can't watch booktubers anymore. I can't watch booktubers unless I have a job. Like an actual proper job, not like being an influencer. Because it's like, what do you mean you don't do anything? What do you actually do that's making you so busy? Doing errands? I fear everyone has to do errands. Okay, going to the grocery store, I went to the grocery store after my shift at work when I finished at 9, but I didn't leave the store until 9:20 because there was an incident about like a few minutes to close, so I had to stay back to fill out an incident report for a customer, and the customer was being difficult and not wanting to fill out the incident report, but it's like you need to because it's like a legal thing, and then whatever. Anyways, my updates, okay, because I'm not going on a rant, sometimes I go on rants. I am like really loving our main character. Like, for the Crown Me Dead one, I'm really loving her. I really like her. Like, I know at the start I didn't, but now I do. And also, like, the king, okay, I know what I said about I wanted her and Vale to be together, but like her and the king, there was like a few moments of tension, like when they were in the moonlit garden, like, and I was just like, ooh. And like the king is fine. I know the king is fine, but like he's just like rotting, and like he's a corpse, like he's not. But I know that he secretly is. So, and also Vale is older than the king. So I really thought that the king was gonna be like 40 years old, 50 years old, but he's young. So actually, I'm putting a pause on her and Vale because I'm now thinking that her and Vale can be friends and she can get with the king. So I want her to get with the king, but also I feel like something really bad's about to happen. And I don't know if it's just because like in these books, something always bad is about to happen. Like there's always something sad near the end. But I swear, if this king dies, I'm gonna cry because like I know he's good. Like I know he is. And I don't know, like but I'm really loving this book. I'm really loving it. Also, I am really, really loving Yesteryear. I'm really loving Yesteryear. Okay, so I'm talking about today now, like Thursday. I have been listening to that all day. I haven't read physically yet, but oh, that's not true. Like on my lunch break, I did read, I think, 1 or 2 pages. But I have been listening to Yesteryear basically every chance I can get, and I am loving it so much. It is so entertaining. I'm finding myself thinking about it. Both these books, I'm finding myself thinking about them, wanting to read them. I'm loving that in Yesteryear we're also getting her past. We're seeing how she got to the present day, but then we're not really getting the present day because she's like in yesteryear, like she's in this like old 1800s world. But we're getting her past, and in the past she didn't fit in. And also, I do kind of feel attacked because she literally was attacking people who online complained about the name Junebug, right? And I feel like, I don't know if I told you, but I feel like I complained about the name Junebug. I feel like I complained about it, and then now I feel like a bit called out because she then attacked the people who are attacking Junebug. And I'm like, oh, but like, what kind of name is Junebug? She is like actually outrageous the way she describes things, although sometimes like I'm finding myself laughing. She says like heinous things, and other times I'm like, that is insane. Like my boyfriend was here the past few nights, and like I was laying down and like I was listening to this, and like out of nowhere he was just hearing things 50% less inflated than I expected. I wanted to put a towel over it and let it rise. Underappreciated vegetable in regards to a woman's dress. Her daughters. What she called her daughters, though, like, okay, not her actual daughters, but the other daughters. I don't know, she was like, I'm not even saying it. I will show you. Out of nowhere, she called them that. When I was listening today, she's looking at her husband and she's like, Pussy's nose always that bulbous because she doesn't think she's attractive anymore? Like, it's crazy, but I do like seeing the cracks because, you know, at the start she was talking about how perfect she was, and we're now seeing like the progression of how we actually got to this point, because I was like, there's no way that she's like just actually like this perfect and like this, whatever. Also, I'm freezing, that's why I'm in this like my Aristocats jacket. But I love this so much. It's like so cozy. But like, she is outrageous, honestly. And I can't stop reading it. Well, listening. Even now, it's like I don't know which one I want to read because I have to go to bed very, very soon. But it's like I don't know which one I want to read. Like, do I read that or do I listen? And it's making me like not want to, like, okay, let's be real. I got home at 10 p.m. There is no way I was going to be doing an assignment. Like, I'm just too tired for that. Like, I have to wake up again and I have 8:30. And today I did 8:30 to 9, finished at 4:30, then at 5, start my other job. So it's just like, I'm a bit tired, and yeah, tomorrow's 8:30 to 5. Unfortunately, I do have work on Saturday because I don't have netball, which I forgot about. Like, I was excited to do netball, and then I was like, oh wait, no, I have work. Netball was called off because it's a long weekend. Yeah, what am I doing for a long weekend? Nothing. I have work Sunday. But I don't work Monday. My next day off. Monday. I'm so excited. Monday seems so far away. Like, we're only on Thursday. And my last day off was Saturday, and I had netball for that. What I would do to have 2 days off in a row. I would do anything to have 2 days off in a row, actually.
See, this is why you have to be careful what you wish for. Because then I got pneumonia, and now I'm having a full week off. I'm not allowed to work either of my jobs. My assignments dates all got pushed back, and I'm not allowed to play netball either. So, yeah, be careful what you wish for. I only have like a little bit left of antibiotics to take, but like, be careful what you wish for.
Like, it would be fine if I didn't have assignments to do. Update, I'm really loving these books. So, yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to continue reading today, but I'm going to do the same thing where I update you tomorrow about what I read today. However, I am very tired, but also like, I wish I was reading more. But like, unfortunately, this is the reality. This is the reality. And you know what? I'm hoping that someone else can relate to me and like maybe not feel like as bad, because I was beating myself up, not gonna lie. I was like, why haven't you like read as many books as like the past? Like, why haven't you been reading? And it's like, I really don't like have that much time, and I'm, you know, utilizing my time like on my lunch breaks, and when I can, like, I made my lunch for tomorrow, which is tomato and cheese toasties. I was listening to the audiobook doing that. Like, I'm trying my best, okay? I'm trying my best. And I think that the fact I'm even reading anything at all, I'm just proud of myself for doing that. But I'm going to go now, and then I'll see you tomorrow morning. Or maybe not tomorrow morning. I don't know. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, so it is Saturday. I just got home from work. I worked 10:30 to 5:30, so a simple 5-hour shift. And honestly, that's what I needed. I feel like, especially on a Saturday, 5 hours is like what I want. Because I used to do 9 to 5, like on Saturdays every single time. One time a lady, she came in 2 minutes to close. She stayed for so long after we were closed, and I don't know, apparently I was annoyed. She complained about me and said that I was annoyed that she came in. Yeah, I was, because you came in 2 minutes to close and wanted to start trying all these things on, and you needed things that were up high, so we had to get the ladders down. It was like, so I don't like working closes on weekends. I'm fine on a Sunday because it's just like whatever, but I hate it on a Saturday because people are so entitled. Like, do you think I want to be here on a Saturday? No. Okay. So I think 5 hours is like best, and normally like the 5-hour shifts on a Saturday is like 12 to 5, but 10:30, 3:30. So good. I got a little bit of a sleep in this morning, and also then I didn't have to deal with people coming in and staying. One time a lady stayed back 45 minutes after close. 45 minutes after. And like, at that point, like, so my friend, she works like a supermarket, and like they give like warnings, and you have to be like, you have to get out. But like at my store, you're not allowed to do that, and it's like so annoying. Anyways, I'm coming to you, yes, on Saturday. So I need to give you updates for Thursday night and then also Friday. Yes. Okay, so Thursday, I only ended up reading 13 pages, which sounds like so bad. Like, and then also I listened to about an hour and 58 minutes of the audiobook. So not in total, because I was listening at like like I think 1.4 speed. Friday, I also read a little bit. I read 10 pages and I listened to about 42 minutes of the audiobook. That's a starting point to today. So because I'm home now, it's like 4:18. I can read a little bit today. I was, listening to my audiobook whenever I could. And yeah, I think I just need to start like finding time, just like time out of my day to read, just because like I'm really interested in these books. And I feel like because it's a Saturday, I can give myself grace. I really have so many assignments I need to do. I have 11 assignments I need to do. 11 assignments I need to do and have completed by like the 19th of June. It's the 6th of June. 11 assignments I need to be completed. I don't want to do any today. I don't want to do any today. But that means I need to really read as much as I possibly can then, so then I don't feel as guilty. Because Monday's a public holiday, I don't have work. So I'm thinking I can do my assignments then, but I don't know. That's neither here nor there. And then tomorrow, yes, I'm working 10 to 4. So maybe, I don't know. We'll just see. We'll see. Some thoughts, right? So for yesteryear, all I've heard is people say, oh, like, it's this tradwife influencer and she wakes up and she's in the 1800s and like that's what it's about. We barely got like anything of her being an influencer. It is like so much more than just that. We see so much of the progression of how she actually got to be the tradwife influencer. We see her struggles with like her getting pregnant with her husband again, all her husband's issues, like all the things that's going on with him, the complexities with her husband's dad because like he's in the political space, the political world. If I hear one more thing about raw milk, I think it's funny because, she's on this farm and there was just like cow feces all over the bucket and she was like, that's not the raw milk that I drink. And it's like, yes girl, it is. Yes girl, it is. It's just, she is like, obviously she's so problematic, like the things that she says, it's like, okay, like, but I'm so intrigued, like I'm so invested. But yeah, it's so much more than just it. And I'm finding it so interesting just seeing how she got to be where she was. Like I think I really liked knowing about her experience in college, and like now, I definitely liked hearing more about her college experience more than like how they're getting the farm. And also like her husband is like making me like very uncomfortable because he has a porn addiction, so yuck. There's so many things about that, and so it's also kind of like exploring like that a bit and like the effects that has on him and then everything. It's also like interesting because like obviously like she is religious, like she's a Christian, like she has like specific things that she thinks is okay or right in her mind, and like how she like is changing it to fit certain things. Like it's just like it's so weird. So like on one hand, like so she's tracking like her period, like her menstrual cycle and everything, and her husband is like, well, isn't it just God's will that if we get pregnant we'll like have another kid? And then she's just a bit like, no, well it's God's will that we try. So it's like she will change things in her mind as well and be like, oh, this is okay because it's like this and this. So it's kind of like she's trying to like, well, not change the rules but like fit her beliefs and like the things she does into like the rules of like what in her mind she should be doing as a Christian woman, a Christian mother. It's like, it's just like there's a lot of dissonance. And also with the Crown Me Dead, okay, I haven't really gone that far into it, but really still enjoying this. I owe you a king's apology. What this king did. I don't know. But then Veil, it's still why I choose because okay, no, the reason why I asked that is because I was like, oh, like this also sounds familiar. I actually have one of her books on my physical TBR, Fed the So Bitches. Have I read that? No, of course I haven't, which is why like it's ridiculous. And I do want to do like a physical TBR video, but anyways, I'm just gonna keep reading this and to see, because like Veil is having some like jealousy and like, but she's making some progress with the king, because I remember like a whole thing is that she needs to make the king fall in love with her. But like I genuinely like I see connections everywhere. But I'm loving the world. It's like, it's just so dark and it's a lot of descriptions of like blood and stuff. Because like people are coughing up blood, and I'm up to like a pivotal point because basically she's at the point in the book where she's trying to hack into the library and she's in the library and she's fallen off the ladder in the library. Okay, yeah, I don't know who I wanted to be with. That's my update. I think I might actually read a bit more now because I think audiobooks are really, I have to do some watching, but like audiobooks I feel like are very good when I'm doing other tasks, but I can't just like sit here and listen. Like if I'm just sitting down, I'd much rather read, but it's like I need the audiobooks when I'm walking or doing chores or like doing anything else that like I'm doing something, but then I can like listen.
Okay, so we're only on page 124. Okay, so I think what I love about books, I really love books that are like very long, very drawn out. But this book is short. I think it's like only like 200 or something pages because I'm on page 124 and I'm only 45% into the book. Well, I'm already 45% into the book. So it's not that long. But I feel like because it is not very long and it's not really dragged out and we don't get like all the ins and outs and like all like the meaty or like mundane things, it's not going to be a 5-star. But also, that being said, if that book was like that, I doubt very much that I would have been able to read as much as I have, just because I needed something like this. Like, I couldn't have like a really long book at the moment because I just don't really have the attention span for this, and this is short, so I'm getting through it. But it's just like, I think it's gonna be like a 4-star. And the same for Yesty, I think it's gonna be 4-star because like things I think are moving fast, but like we're halfway through, so okay, that's my update.
A nakedly gorgeous complexion. As I chopped the vegetables.
Okay, so I just got home from work and give a little update about yesterday. I didn't read nearly as much as what I thought I was going to, and I listened to an hour and 10 minutes. So that's how much I read yesterday. Now, today is Sunday. Today, I have really been listening to it. Like this morning, I was listening to it all this morning at my work. I was listening to it on my lunch break, which I never normally do because I never bring my AirPods, and then I always forget, and then I'm always like messaging people, and then it just like, I never get time to do it. My lunch break is longer, so I often can, listen more. Yesteryear, guys, I am really enjoying this book. Like, obviously, main character, I do not like her. Like there are some like aspects of her that's like pitiful because like she's very awkward as a person, I'm up past the point where she's had like an awkward fan interaction, because it's like the part where like she's like, I'm going shopping, and it was her daughter, but then she left the daughter in the car, and then the fan saw her and then was like, your kid's in the car. It's just the way that she is so judgmental and then tries to like warp certain things to fit into her narrative. And then I don't know, I'm not forgetting the fact though that her husband, everything is in his name. I'm not forgetting that, and I feel like that will tie into something near the end. And I also just feel like what's happening now with old Caleb is so weird. Like, I don't know how this whole it's weird with the whole consent thing. Just can't stop listening to it. Like, I'm already now thinking about like listening to it again, like continuing on listening to it, because I need to know what's going to happen. But I also want to read Crown Me Dead. And then I think after that, I will try really hard to finish these books, so then I can give you an update by the time this video is done. But yeah, so unfortunately, like, I'm just not reading like as much, which like, I think, again, if I didn't have 2 jobs and I didn't have so many assignments and stuff that I had to do, I would be able to read more, but it's hard when like there's so many things on your mind. An update on the gym. Next week I'm gonna go because I bought some cute activewear. I knew it. Things are being revealed. We're on page 151, chapter 21. I knew it. What did I say? I knew it. Are you afraid of me now? Vale. It has to be Vale now. I changed my mind. Also, yeah. No, I can't say that. I almost just spoiled something. But it's most certainly not going to be why I choose. Let's just say that. So it has been a few days since Sunday. On Sunday, I ended up listening to so much of my audiobook. I listened to 2 hours and 31 minutes of it. And I also read 43 pages. So I also read a lot as well. Now, those 2 books, particularly now Yesteryear, because I've kind of stopped physically reading my Kindle as much because I feel like I'm busy doing other things, because yes, I am now going to the gym consistently. I've gone 3 days in a row. And I have been doing my TAFE assignments, so I've kind of just been listening to my audiobook whenever I can, but I've almost finished yesterday. Like, I have 15 minutes out, but I will tell you about my final thoughts for those books at the end, okay? Because I haven't actually finished them yet, so I don't know what it's gonna be. For my realistic, how much I read in a week, I read 122 pages and I got 61% through the book. Remember, I'd already started the Crown We Dead one. I already had started that. I, in total, to the audiobook, listened to 9 hours and 38 minutes of it, and I got through 71% of yesteryear. I definitely listened a lot more, which I fear is just the case when you're really busy and you have lots of things to do. It's just audiobooks are so much easier because you can listen while doing things. Like, see my meal here? Prime time to listen to an audiobook. Like, doing anything. Prime time. You know? So, unfortunately, I didn't read, like, that much. But I think that's realistic. And I'm hoping... Okay, once I get through this month, I'll be able to read so much. Like, once I get through June, until uni starts back up again, I will only have to focus on my 2 jobs. That's it. I won't have to focus about doing silly little assignments. Like I won't feel guilty for staying up late reading because I know that then all I have to do is get through work. I don't have to do stuff after work. That's just like a realistic reading week. Let me know how much you realistically read in a week and if you're a fast or slow reader. But I'm going to finish eating this. I'm going to finish listening to yesteryear, and then I'll be back to see you in like a few days when I actually finish the books. So I can just give you like my fully like rounded out thoughts about like what I thought of it. You know what? I knew it. It was a fleeting thought, but I did. Genuinely, I was like, I knew it. So the thing that has been revealed in the book, right? I did have suspicions about it, okay? It crossed my mind, but then I was also like, no, but that can't be, like, stuff like that. But anyways, the thing something that has been revealed in this book, and it's making me review every single thing with like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I suspect this, but there's no guarantee. It's a different thing to be like, this is the truth. And I'm looking back at so many situations now, like feeling kind of like, oh, so that explains it. Like, it's sinister actually. Like, there's a specific scene where, like, with her brother, and he's in I'm just gonna keep it, I don't want to spoil anything, but like the door is slightly ajar and she looks in and like her brother's laying on the bed and he's like coughing up the stuff. And thinking about that situation with the knowledge that I know now, I'm like, so that's like that's why. And then it's very sinister actually, and it's making me feel a bit like queasy thinking about all the situations, and I'm like looking at a news perspective being like, oh, and that's why a certain scene was very heartfelt from a particular angle. Anyways, I'm almost finished. I'm at 94% and I'm gonna finish this book tonight, and then I'll give you my thoughts on this and yesteryear. But like, both of them are so good, and I want to reread both of them because I want, with the knowledge of the twist and stuff like that at the end, I want to like re-go over it and be like, oh, and do everything in the lens of everything that I know now, you know? No. This concludes. I need to read the next one immediately. Way too much detail. Okay, so there's been quite a lot of time since then and now. For reference, I have pneumonia. I'm on my last day of my medication, so like I'm on the mend, but I'm not allowed to work, I'm not allowed to play netball, so I've just been like resting, and it's now finally time for me to edit this video, but I feel like I just can't do it until I give you my final thoughts and final updates. I'm gonna start with yesteryear. It was so interesting seeing the differences in the relationships with her family, and seeing how, you know, at the start of the book, well, not the start of the book, but the start of when she is in the 1800s, like that part, seeing the progression of her relationship from there to
where it ends up and like the bonds that she forms. After we found out the twist, it made me sick. Like genuinely, it made me see everything in a new light. I don't really know what I was expecting to happen, but that didn't even cross my mind. What actually is the cause for this, and like it never once even crossed my mind as a possibility. It wasn't even, oh maybe this and I brushed, like it just didn't even enter my mind at all. But after the twist was revealed, all I want to do is reread it. Like I want to reread it now. It's like when people talk about it, I get this weird pain and I'm like, oh, I've already read it. It's like I want to reread it. I hate it. Like the main character, I hate this main character so much. It made me see everything in such a new light, and it just like made me despise her just so much more than what I already did, because obviously you're not supposed to like her, but it's just when it was revealed, it made me so angry. The way that everything is linked again also makes me want to reread it, and I feel like that's also, I rated this book 5 stars, but I also feel like, well, it's interesting because when I originally started rating books, the only books that I would give 5 stars were books that like I immediately reread, or like books I would immediately reread. So this fits that criteria, but I stopped doing that because I was like, that's a bit much. But this, no, I want to reread it so badly, and I actually want to buy the book, and I want to buy it in a hardcover, but the hardcover doesn't come out I think until the end of this month, so can't have it yet. The main character, she's so unhinged. Also at the end of the book, it is revealed that there's like this memoir. I won't say whose memoir it is or anything, but the things I would do for that memoir to be an actual book and for me to read that book, the things that I would do. I want more from this book. Like, not from the book, well, I feel like I got enough from the book, but I want more from this world. I want more from the characters. I'm just like, oh, like in a not the bad ones, but like I'm just like, I want to know, because it's so disturbing and dark. Honestly, it's actually scary. Clementine, like, oh, Clementine. It is so sad. At the end, I genuinely cried. The last few minutes, I cried. I got teary-eyed at so many points. Also, I don't know if you've seen this, but have you seen the movie The Village? Honestly, I was like, this movie, I feel like if the author got inspiration from like outside sources, she definitely would have gotten some inspiration from this movie. Yeah. Anyways, it was so good. Like it made me feel so many emotions. It's so complicated. The fact that like it's a debut novel, genuinely when I found out it was a debut novel, I was like, that's insane. Because anything that this author now writes, I will be reading. Because it was just so addictive, and it was just, I think it was so good. I personally think that this book is so good, and it is the best book I've read so far this year. Also, I saw someone say in a comment somewhere, they were like on some random video, they were like, oh, this book was just like so unrelatable to me, blah blah blah. Is this book supposed to be relatable? Like, who is it supposed to be relatable for? The only like person I could possibly think this could be relatable for is that like ballerina farm girl, you know. Anyways, that book was so good. I'm so glad that I read it. Guys, I haven't really read anything. I'm in the middle of reading The Deal, but like I feel like I need to genuinely make a video like every single week like this, because I'm just not inspired to read. I'm just so busy. And then because I have pneumonia, my assignment dates got pushed back. So, but I still need to get the assignments done. Anyways, I have very short updates for Count Me Dead. There's a line, and it's like, I am tired. And you know, in books and stuff, whenever any of the characters are like, I'm tired, it brings me back to Manacled. And I always think about those characters. And the thing is, right, is I always like was rereading Manacled. Like it was my favorite thing, whatever. And I haven't reread it in a very long time. And the reason why, and I haven't really talked about this, the reason why is because the last time that I reread it, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of things in this book which I feel like, it's such a long book, full fan fiction, such a long fan fiction, but there were parts that I feel like were glossed over, or specific scenes that really could have been drawn out and not brushed over. Something about the writing that I was a bit like, So I don't know when I'm going to reread that, actually. And then also Alchemized. I still haven't read Alchemized. And the thing is I started listening to it. Maybe I should start reading. Well, because I started reading it, and I was like, no, I don't want to read this. This is not, no. And I also wanted to wait until like I feel like enough time has passed, so I'm not like just comparing them. But yeah, I haven't read Alchemized, and I'm kind of scared too. I don't know. I feel like I also want to do Summerween, so I've got those books prepared. And then I also want to do Herked 3. to the hardest reading challenge I'll ever do 3. I think I want to do that. And I've been doing lots of planning today, and I'm really excited, and so I'm gonna at least try. Like, I put too much effort into like thinking about the prompts and like thinking about what books I can use, and I'm so excited. Anyways, back to Crime Dead. So I'm gonna read out a little quote. This quote, when I read it, I was like, it was like a genuine like I'd been stabbed in the heart. As the story goes, Aemon told him that the Queen was the fiercest piece on the board, but ultimately she was expendable, that she existed to be sacrificed if it ensured the king's survival. There is so much grief and devastation and tragedy in this book, and I love it. And I will admit, I have purchased the book. I have purchased a physical copy because I want it. I haven't purchased the second one because I haven't read it. So I'm really not buying books unless like I actually have read them. Or maybe like if I'm gonna read it like immediately. It's really good. So those are my updates. It's just, they were such good books. I don't know if it's because like I just haven't really been reading. And the thing is, guys, I wouldn't say like I'm necessarily like a hard person to enjoy a book. Thank you for bearing with me. I also couldn't give you an update because I ran out of storage, and I didn't have any storage, and I haven't been able to update like anything because I have no storage. So that's why like this is much extra later, and I'm hoping to just go and edit this video now and then just have it uploaded tomorrow. Like, that's my goal, to have it uploaded tomorrow, and then yeah, I can move on to another thing because there are so many books that I want to read. Yeah, I want to read this month. I don't know, there's just so much stuff I want to read. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for watching, and I've seen this one. Also, yeah, tell me, I don't know if I've already said this, but like, tell me how much you guys read in a week typically. Like, is it a lot, not a lot? Are you fast reader, slow reader? Like, how do you prioritize things? And yeah, so I think we'd all read a lot more if we didn't have jobs and we weren't studying, we didn't have sport and stuff. And also, guys, I'm so upset because I've been really loving the gym. So, I think I got a gym membership like, well, yeah, I really like the gym, but because of the pneumonia thing, I can't go. And like, it's so weird because I feel fine, and then like I stand up and I walk for a little bit and I'm just like in my chest. Anyways, bye.